The first step in mindfulness, in RAIN, is recognizing what you're feeling, recognizing what's happening. Sometimes we're numb or we're just skating over the surface. We're going through our daily motions, getting things done. And meanwhile, just beneath the surface, all of these feelings are brewing. And actually being able to turn towards them and feel them is what we do in this practice. So simply recognizing right now, take a moment and recognize, how am I feeling? What's happening right now? And you might notice an emotion. You might notice beneath the surface there's agitation or anxiety. Maybe there's excitement, and maybe there's depression, sadness. Turning towards and recognizing whatever's there. Or you might have a hard time acknowledging or seeing an emotion, but what you feel is sensation. You feel maybe a churning in your belly, or a tightness or heat in your chest, or maybe you feel a pressure in your jaw. These are all access points. So recognizing what's happening right now, whatever it is, what is it? And I often say this is the simplest and maybe one of the most helpful mantras you can use in your day, or you could say kind of inquiry questions. What's happening right now? And it's a way of just immediate contact with our direct experience. And whether it's an emotion that shows up or an intense sensation in the body, sensation in the body is often telling us something. It's telling us that something is at play. So can we turn towards it and recognize it, and then maybe hear what it has to tell us? We might feel a tightness in our belly and then realize it's like, oh wow, I'm angry. Or, we might feel this heaviness in our chest, and we're just going and we're busy and we have so much to do and handle in life. And then we turn towards it and we recognize, oh, there's a heaviness in my chest. Wow, there's a lot of grief. So how do we start? By recognizing what's there. And certainly it would be natural to be feeling a lot right now, or maybe to be feeling numb. And as one of my teachers, Ruth Dennison, once said, numbness is an emotion too. So maybe you turn towards your experience and literally you think, I don't feel anything right now. Then you can feel that. Wow, I feel numbness, and recognize it. And that's part of this experience. There's not one thing you're supposed to feel. There's not one way it's meant to go. We can get really hooked on that in mindfulness, thinking I'm supposed to feel a certain way, or I need to manage or control my experience. The beauty of this practice is you just simply recognize whatever's there, however it's arising. And then can we allow for it? Can we allow whatever is there to be there without leaping to fix it or change it? I don't know about you, but usually as soon as I feel something uncomfortable, whether it's an uncomfortable emotion or sensation, I want to change my breath. I want to change my posture. I want to do something to have myself feel better. I want to change it. It's uncomfortable to feel that difficult emotion or that difficult sensation, unpleasant. The Buddha taught that kind of intrinsically woven into experience is the feeling, the sensation. He called it Vedana, the feeling tone of pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And it's very natural for us. When something's pleasant, we like it. We want to lean towards it. I want more of this. Let me keep it. It's like, oh, I start to feel some peace and serenity. Like, I want to grip on. Or it's unpleasant, it's tight, it's pressure, it hurts, it's grief, it's heavy. We want to get rid of it. Of course, it's natural, it's unpleasant. We want to fix it, change it, get rid of it. Or it's neutral, like numbness, like that feeling I was saying of numbness. You might turn towards it and you might not recognize it, because when something's neutral, it's most natural for us to just check out. We don't notice how much when things around us are just neutral, we kind of check out. We don't even notice it. And so this is actually part of what the Buddha described in Buddhist psychology is this is how our mind works. inherent in experience is either a pleasantness, an unpleasantness, or neutrality. And then inherently we react. We lean towards it. We want more if it's pleasant. We lean away. We want less if it's unpleasant. Or simply we check out if it's neutral. So in mindfulness, what we aim to do, well, first of all, we might notice that's happening. That might be what is right now, right? What is right now is something's unpleasant and I'm dying to get away from it. I'm trying to fix it. You might just notice the whole chain of reaction, You dial in, you recognize a tightness in your belly, and then immediately you see, I don't like it, I want to change it, and you try to change it. Well, that's mindfulness too. You're watching it all unfold. And what we aim to introduce is some allowing. Can I allow what's there to be there? Can I recognize that I feel grief right now? And can I allow the grief to be there without rushing to make it better, to change myself, to feel like I'm a constant self-improvement project? Instead, can I be with my grief? It's unpleasant. I want to get rid of it. I could even feel that too. I could feel its unpleasantness. I can feel my impulse to get rid of it. And can I sit with my grief? Could I sit with my anticipation? Maybe it feels really restless in my body. I'm anticipating something. Can I sit with that? Pleasant or unpleasant, neutral, whatever it is, can I allow for it? Can I give room for all of life to flow through me? Here we are, beings on this planet with life flowing through us. Can we open? Can we recognize that it's life flowing through us? It's pleasant, it's unpleasant, it's neutral. And can we allow for it? Because it's all part of life. The ups and the downs, the grief and the joy. Can we give room? Not fight it, allow for it. And if we're fighting it, then recognizing that's what's happening too. Then the I. So we have the recognizing, the allowing, and then the I stands for investigating. Can we be curious? Can we be curious about what's happening? Can we be curious about this grief that is tight, not in our belly? And have that openness, that warm curiosity. Oh, what's here? And can we even have curiosity if we have a reaction? If we want to shut it down, can we have curiosity about that? If we quickly want to change it or get away from it, oh, can I be curious about that? Oh, wow, hard, like it's hard. Can I be curious about that? If we feel a numbness, if we feel our mind just spinning, trying to get away, can we be curious about that? So whatever it is, we break that habitual cycle of automatically wanting to judge and wanting to change, right? I mean, that's our human nature. I want to judge it. I don't like it. I want to change it. Judgment and efforts to change. Now, of course, we want discernment in life. We want the ability to change things. We want to be able to work with these things. And in mindfulness, our starting point is by recognizing, by allowing it, and being curious. Because I've said this before, if we automatically leap to changing and to judging and changing, we may miss important information. We may not learn or see something. And so we start by being present with it, really noticing it. Because insight, wisdom about the nature of things, about the nature of life inside of us and around us doesn't come from the thinking mind, doesn't come from, let me see it, let me judge it, let me have my habitual reaction. It's through a willingness to open and allow a deeper insight to arise. So what might happen if I allow for my grief? I might feel like it's never going to end. But what happens if I just open for a moment and allow for it? What happens? What if I allow for my rage? Just for a few moments, just right now, even as I'm talking, what if you allow for it? Recognize it's there, allow for it, and be curious. Oh, how does it feel in my body? What happens when I put my attention there? What happens when I open to it? This is the curiosity. The curiosity is, okay, How does it feel? What happens when I'm present with it? What happens if I approve of it and say, it's okay that you're here? And even open more and give it as much space as it needs. What if your rage, your grief, or your joy, your anticipation, your anxiety, what if you allow it to be as big as it needs to be, not trying to keep it small and cramped, and give it space to express itself through you? Then what? This is a curiosity. And what you might notice is as you do this, there is this non-identification. That's the N. Meaning you may become aware that you are vast enough. You're big enough. You have the capacity to experience, no matter how intense it is, the grief, the rage, the excitement, the anticipation, the hope, whatever it is, like a wave in your ocean. It's a wave arising. It may be intense. It might be like the biggest storm, but it arises and it passes through. The greatness that is your being, the vastness that's your being. And you're willing to feel it. You feel it all the way through. It's not that you dissociate or you watch it from a distance. This is not about sort of witnessing from a distance. It's about a willingness to fully feel it. And as you feel it, to know that it's a wave. That's non-identifying, knowing that you're both inside of this experience, feeling it. It is part of who you are, and it's not all of who you are. And so we cultivate this, both we practice that non-identifying, but we also cultivate it as we're willing to recognize, to allow, and to investigate. Those three things help us cultivate this quality of non-identifying, because we're not leaping to our habitual mind that automatically, it's like a wiring in our brain. We believe it's us, like, oh my gosh, there's this thing happening. I don't like it. I need to control it. If we remember it's an experience moving through us, it gives us a little more space to let go. To let it do its thing, to let it be a wave in life, to let it be an experience of aliveness, to sit with it and feel it, and not necessarily need to control and change it in this moment, but to allow something deeper to arise. To actually remember we have the capacity to feel it, and to cultivate the capacity to feel it. You have the capacity to feel whatever is arising. So moment by moment, you can do that. And as you do that, you may notice a different knowing arise. Not the habitual judgment and effort to change, but a deeper insight. Insight into the nature of this aliveness moving through you, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And insight into your own capacity. And what actually helps transform and empower through this practice. What actually helps through this recognizing, through this allowing, and this curiosity, this investigating, as we practice rain.